Right now, President Trump's big, beautiful budget bill is headed to the Senate, where it faces surprise opposition from some Republicans. Senators like Josh Hawley, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, all expressing concerns about major cuts to Social Security. Constituents are certainly making their voices heard at town halls. Iowa Senator Joni Ernst facing blowback today after making this controversial comment at a town hall Friday.
When you are arguing about illegals that are receiving Medicaid benefits, 1.4 million, 1.4, they are not eligible, so they will be coming off. So people are not, well, we all are going to die.
Joining us now, former Democratic Senator from Montana and an MSNBC political analyst, Jon Tester. Good to see you, Senator. What, sir, do you make of that? I mean, look, she's not wrong per se, but was the tone wrong? And continuing with, for heaven's sakes, folks, I mean, what are Iowans supposed to take away from that?
Well, first of all, I think she tried to use it to deflect. Didn't work too well. And I think what I take away from it, and I think Iowans would too, is that folks in Washington, D.C. and Congress aren't taking their job seriously. I mean, look, if you take and extrapolate that point of view out, then it makes perfect sense to cut NIH. Because why? Because why does research matter? We're going to die anyway. It makes perfect sense to cut Medicaid and shut down rural hospitals all over the country. Why? Because, look, you don't need health care. You're going to die anyway. I mean, I just think it's just a lack of understanding. I will tell you that you got to get. I applaud her effort to have a town hall meeting. I think that's really good, and I think Republicans ought to do more of that. Democrats are doing that, but Republicans ought to do more of it. But the truth is listen to what the questions that are there. They're very informative, and for her to deflect and say, oh, this is people are going to die anyway. You shouldn't worry about it. I mean, my God, how not be in touch with reality is that? I mean, we are elected to office.
Flip, it sounds flip.
What's that now?
It sounds flip.
Yeah. It is not what a serious policymaker should be talking about, quite frankly. They should be talking about how we make life better for our constituents, how we increase opportunity, how we increase freedoms, privacy, all those things that make this country the greatest country in the world.
You, sir, have been critical of Trump's budget bill on the exclusion of any bipartisan input from Democrats, and particularly on its impact to farmers who shouldn't have to rely on government handouts. Explain how Trump's bill hurts farmers.
Well, I think it starts with his tariffs. I mean, people in production agriculture raise more food than we can eat in this country. So we depend upon foreign countries to have reasonable markets so that we don't go broke because our markets are not paying us the cost of production. That's where government subsidies come in. Because of these tariffs, because they've pumped a bunch of money into the Farm Bill for subsidies, it shows me that they're not going to do anything to do things like make these tariffs work for people in production ag. And by the way, folks in production ag are the tip of the spear when it comes to trade wars. We're the ones that end up on the short end of the stick. And they're not going to do anything to put more competition in the marketplace, which, by the way, when capitalism works, you get fair prices for your products, and it's good for consumers too, I might add. But what they're going to do is they're going to make us dependent upon the federal government with more subsidies. There's not a farmer that I know that doesn't want to get their paycheck from the marketplace. And to say, no, we're gonna turn this into a socialist system, so you have to depend on me, Uncle Sam, to make a living on your farm, just goes against everything that my parents taught me when I was growing up about production agriculture. And the bottom line is they need to take that bill back. They need to take the whole bill back and rework it because it's really bad in a whole bunch of areas. But the Farm Bill part of that bill that was passed by the House a week or so ago absolutely does not meet the food security needs or the needs of people in production agriculture in this country. And it certainly doesn't meet the needs of our taxpayers. It's going to increase our debt even more, which is something that we should be taken seriously, and this bill does not.
Given the fact that Montana, though, is a very red state, I'm curious how many of your fellow farmers are sticking by Trump's measures and for how long they'll continue to do so.
Well, I think so far, to be honest with you, I think most of them still are. I think it takes time for this uncertainty in the tariff situation that Trump is, putting tariffs on one day and taking tariffs off the next day. That's going to impact our markets. It's going to take a bit to do it. Soybeans, it's already happened. But wheat and corn, it'll take a bit of time. And I think when it starts hitting people in the wallets, they start paying attention. And I just don't see any way that this is not going to start hitting farmers in the wallet. And here's the problem, Alex. There's not a lot of profit margin in production agriculture. We're going to lose a lot of farmers if we don't get some good policy and some forward thinking from the White House when it comes to raising food in this country.
I want to ask you a question about the Democrats' increasing indications as well of the issues which will shape the midterms. You've got tariffs, the economy, presidential behavior that's interpreted as self-enrichment, Social Security, the list goes on. Is that what will help Democrats take back control of at least one chamber of Congress next year? I mean, without Trump on the ticket, how much does that help Democrats?
Well, I think the being on the take stuff, the corruption is going to help Democrats, but Democrats have to step up and show that we're different. I mean, that we are much more transparent in what we do, and that we're not we're not selling crypto coins for influence or for access or any of those things. I think the trade stuff. Look, Republicans have always been the party of business. I don't see how these tariffs are good for business at all. And I think if Democrats put forth some good policies, some good pro-business policies, I think it can really help move some people, particularly independents, but I think it's also a lot of Republicans over to our side. I think there's great opportunity here. But for Democrats to win, they have to come up with a message that works at people's kitchen tables and folks in middle-class America and working families and family farmers and all those folks out there, because quite frankly, I'm not happy with what this administration's doing. I wish they were doing good work, but they're not. And I can't help but think that everybody else is taking a look and going, wow, is that what I voted for? Because it really isn't turning out the way I had planned.
Okay. Former Senator from Montana, Jon Tester, I'm so glad you're on our team, and we're going to be messing with your weekends, so we'll be in touch. Thank you so much.
Look forward to it.